But so what was your perception originally?
We look at a bunch of blood panels. You can go and list, this much iron, this much potassium, this much, all these electrolytes, and etc. In general, we looked at blood samples, and there's other forms, there's other fluids, there's other ways of sampling people. And the fact of the matter is, when you assess, what pre-med students, what they need to have, very, very little of that curriculum in those courses are revolved around nutrition. It revolves around credibility. When you talk about blood flow dilation, all these other assessment tools that you could have been taught the first 2 semesters.
You're focusing more on what is really important would be the lab.
I think you hit it. The problem is there needs to be an integration of healthy diet for longevity with exercise science.
As you started to progress with the curriculum, what did you actually see and how did you feel?
We had the one sports and exercise course, that's not the technical title, was what I think nutrition should be in university. She took questions and she came back the next day after saying, I don't know, I'll look into it. And she came back and said, I was right or wrong, and here are the citations. It is hard to be certain athletes with certain dietary, protocols.
Yeah.
But she showed how you can do it in a very feasible way. In these courses, when we talk about labs and stuff, if you don't put that information in context, you're not going to help everyone, because folate, there's certain minerals right now and vitamins that are so critical, these mutations, and it's predisposing multiple generations to serious problems. If you connect that to, hey, folate within foliage helps with the blood flow dilation as well, your epithelial function, or your heart rate variability, or all these numerous tests, it starts to have connections. It starts to hit people. Instead of just information, now it's relatable. All these concepts are talked about in university setting as if, it only applies in the future. And they're finding, children have these atherosclerotic plaques that are, within the womb because our lifestyle is so terrible.
Yeah.
And that is the stuff that the professors will instantly discredit. That is going to hurt your credibility. Unless they're that professor we talked about. I'm coming now from the educational perspective. So we have to make sure all the standard objectives are hit from the teacher perspective. And when you find out that the huge financial lobbies, I guess you could say, investments, are coming from these fields that I would say, from a physical perspective, if all your products are killing you, it's difficult to say that if they're giving you a lot of money.
Food politics. And there's no nice way to say it either.
No, definitely. It doesn't impact people like me and you, I don't think, because we're willing to look deep into it. I couldn't live with myself if I fed people with this fake vitamin that kills them, and this mineral that's not usable by the body. That's where it comes down to real-world stuff. I believe personally that's why I'm in education now. I can cause kids to look at society from K through 12 and say, hey, we're not the norm. It's a standard American diet. It's this weird thing. And when you do it and when you live it, it has negative consequences. And you got to get them to when they're young.
Do you feel that MNT taught you everything you needed to know? Do you feel confident?
When you come into nutrition, you're like, I want to change the world. I want to inspire kids. I want to inspire people. MNT teaches you everything that you got to be in a hospital setting. And I'm coming from it. I thought you were too, because you want to help people with exercise as well, I assume.
Yes.
Those courses, 3 of them, MNT 1, 2, 3, are teaching you how to, look at these nutritional panels. It's not as simple as that, It's
opened my eyes to say, hey, maybe I should look into other courses outside the curriculum. And that's kind of like what you did, reviewing scientific literature, for sure. I remember that. We're questioning and you wanted to get the best information for that time period. Would that be safe to say?
Oh, yeah, I have a definite, I'm not perfect, of course. You can always know more. You hear different scientists, they make you question. And when you hear different things about the microbiome, the bacteria, how they're impacting all of these functions within the body. Because we don't know enough about it, your physician is not going to prioritize it. Mm-hmm. Whereas I can argue sulforaphane, the byproduct of cruciferous vegetables, for those who are listening that don't know, the impact of fiber, and all these things arguably much more impactful. And the thing is, diet does more than people think. And that's the end goal that I want to talk to my students about.
Thank you for watching part 2 with Garrett. Don't forget to check out Brandon Patrick's interview.